Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Vinland Saga. Last time around we had United Front, where basically, after being kicked into the sky and promptly landing on the ground, Thorfinn was still trying to fight, even with a broken arm, and luckily Askeladd went over there and gave him the secret, after he stopped being pissy about it, and gave him the secret of how to defeat Thorkel, which was hit him in his face. Apparently nobody hits him in his face. Granted, the man's so friggin' tall, how could you get up there? But hit him in the face and he can go down. And sure enough, he did. And when Thorkel's men tried to interfere, it pissed him off to no end. So Thorkel has admitted defeat in the battle. That's when Canute came over and was like, yo, I'm going against the King of Denmark. You in? And Thorkel was like, yeah, I'm in. Because he could see the eyes of a true warrior such as Thor's in Canute. So yeah, now we're all one big happy team, and we're all going to take on the king. This'll go well, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna go well or not. So. But yeah, that was pretty much that. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Vinland Saga. Here we go. I mean, how many times can I do this, man? How many times can we finish an episode and I just start blowing this show, you know? Ugh. Like, I got bad knees. I don't need to be doing this every episode. The monk is 23. He's 20. Kill me now. Good lord, man. I mean, I don't know what would happen if I shaved my beard off. Maybe I would look younger. And I mean, camera does me no justice. You know, I record this on a webcam. I used to record this on a smartphone camera. I switched over to using a webcam. It's just convenient. So I'm doing this on a webcam. I have to color correct every episode. And to be fair, I've lost a lot of my hair right up here. So it's actually, I was going to do a compilation of... I thought about doing a compilation of a moment from every episode of my reactions to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But then I realized it would be slightly depressing for me because you would just watch the decline of my hairline. Like, I used to have bangs, and they used to look good. Well, depending on who you ask. If you ask me, I thought they looked good. But anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I mean... See, now I can't see, though. I don't know if I look any younger right now on camera because my face is too blurred for me to see it on the image capture. So, do I look any younger? I actually think I look older without my glasses because it's more obvious that I have dark spots under my eye because I don't sleep well. So, I don't know. So I like to think the glasses help, but yeah, I suppose if I shaved my beard, maybe I would look like him too. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, I was surprised, but it does make sense because he got the monk haircut, you know? So it's like, oh, he finally was able to get the monk haircut, so that's why he looks like that. But man, I like how he used to look. He used to look like Zeke. He used to look like Zeke from Attack on Titan. I don't know how many times I can mention Attack on Titan, man. But I mean, if we're gonna mention Attack on Titan, I mean, Canute is just Eren Yeager if he wasn't an idiot. Like, seriously, like, Eren Yeager, like, this is literally everything Eren Yeager wanted to do, except he was dumb as a bag of bricks. Like, pants on head, bag of hammers, stupid. And that's all I'm gonna talk about Attack on Titan for this week. So, I need a jar for every time I did that as a joke on Doctor Who once. Like, every time I think something bad, you know, every time I complain about Doctor Who, I would like put a coin in a jar. So I stopped doing that after like a couple episodes, but yeah, maybe I need to do that. That's my Alex talks about A, Attack on Titan, or B, My Hero Academia. I don't really talk about My Hero Academia in this, though. I tend to talk about it in, like, Jujutsu Kaisen, so... Jujutsu Kaisen needs its own bowl of coins, but anyway. But yeah, so that's... No more Attack on Titan talk. So yeah, so now we're in for the long game. It's interesting, too. I never even realized we hadn't actually seen the king's face. Like, we hadn't seen his eyes. And that was an interesting thing. Honestly, it reminds me of the Fire Lord in Avatar: The Last Airbender, where, like, until... This is going off of the animated, the original version of Avatar, not the Netflix show. I haven't seen the Netflix show. I will say it at the very least, Daniel Day Kim as the Fire Lord, that sounds like a great idea. I like Daniel Day Kim, so... But anyway, but at the same time, like, you know, with the original version, you don't see the Fire Lord's face until the beginning of season 3, basically. Spoilers, I guess, but you'll forget about it if you haven't seen it. Anyway, so you just hear him, basically, and you see, like, him, but, like, his face is just obscured by shadow. And it's interesting, I never thought about that with the king here. But that's exactly it, is that his face, at the very least his eyes, were obscured for so long, you know? But I like that idea. And it's interesting, though, it's interesting seeing sort of the difference in that, because when you see the Fire Lord for the first time, like, he does still have this sort of air of menace, but at the same time, he does have this sort of, like, in the first time you see his face, he has this, like, calming presence, almost, you know, just even within the context of the moment. But then it's like, you know, it's honestly almost sort of night and day with the two of them, because here, you know, with Askeladd saying, like, oh, his eyes look tired, you know, like, it's an interesting sort of dichotomy. It's like, you know, he doesn't, I mean, it's not that he doesn't have the will to fight, he does, but it's just he is different, you know. But that's an interesting thing, you know. And I like that Askeladd sees... Which, by the way, have I just been saying it wrong this whole time? So I heard a video... We'll get back to the thing in a minute. But I heard a video where they had watched the English dub of Vinland Saga. And they said Ashled. And I guess that's kind of how they pronounce it. But none of you have corrected me by saying Askeladd. So I'm just going to keep saying that because that's what I'm used to. Anywho. If you want it to be Ashled, then put in an H, not a K. The Danes and their languages. Anywho. So when Askeladd, like, looks at him, you know, like, he sees, I like that he sees, like, yes, he is smart, you know, he is still a dangerous adversary, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, there's something interesting about it. It's like, yes, he is an adversary. He is a smart adversary that we have to deal with. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Is he going to be... I don't know. He's dangerous for a great many reasons, but I don't think he's quite on the level that they're at in terms of intellect. I don't know. That could just be coming straight out of my ass, you know, for all I know. But that was interesting. I like how they acknowledged, like, yeah, you know, the whole thing of, like, he was testing them, basically, to see if they would back down, you know? And even, you know, Askeladd and Thorfinn both immediately spotted that there was an ambush there. But I like how Canute says, you know, whoever draws their sword first will lose. And sure enough, because they drew their swords first, he lost, you know? He had to back down and be like, okay, I'm not going to kill you today. So... I'll give you your reward. So that was pretty good. And it's interesting when they talk about, you know, the crown and everything. I mean, we could also talk about, you know, Canute. He wants to build a paradise on Earth. I like how he says, you know, I will build a paradise on Earth, even if not in my generation. I will take the first step. And, you know, I'm sure that God will take me in and cherish me. But I will say to him, we no longer need heaven and your love, you know. We no longer need, essentially, just, we no longer need you. We have paradise on Earth, which is interesting. I mean, it's such an interesting thing. If anything, it's literally rebelling against the father, you know? The whole thing of, a child will rebel against their parents at some point, you know? And for him, not only is it that he's literally defying his own father, the king, but he's also defying his father, God, basically. And he wants to prove him wrong, prove that he can make a paradise on earth. Now, can he actually do that? I don't know. The one thing with his paradise plan is, if he can't do it, will he have people that will be able to continue it, And I mean, you could even say, like, well, did Canute succeed? Like, can we look at our own, like, is our own world that we sit in right now spoilers for Vinland Saga? Like, that's just something I just asked, And that sounds stupid, but, like, does he succeed? Can he succeed in this? Can he create paradise on Earth? And this is on top of... it's... I guess you could also say... Maybe it's also the difference of mindsets when you have, a lot of characters, including Thorfinn, who says, well, there is a paradise out there. Vinland, which, is the new world, basically. And, it's like, oh, it's out there. And if you can go there, you can find it. Maybe it's a difference of opinion, like, the difference between characters like Thorfinn or Leif or other people who yearn for Vinland versus characters like Thors and Canute, is that Thors and Canute try to fix the place they are in, Or, like Thors, like, he was not actively searching for Vinland. He didn't want to go to Vinland. What he wanted, he pretty much had his own paradise, His own paradise in Iceland, because that's what he needed, was his family and peace, He wanted his family and peace, and maybe that's even what Askeladd is now going towards, is that same sort of mindset of, but for him specifically, it's Wales. He's trying to protect, like, to him, Wales is already the paradise, It's the land that he identifies with more than his Danish side. He's just trying to protect it, basically. But at the same time, he's starting to get that too when he talks to Atli and says, never pick up a sword again, Never pick up a sword again. Go, farm some sheep, have a wife, have a kid. Don't become a warrior again. Like, it's almost like Askeladd is kind of taking, like, indirectly almost taking what Thor's made of his life, and what, Thor's tells to Thorfinn is, you have no enemies. There's no point to this, to fighting like this, So, I don't know. So that's an interesting thing, just seeing, and I like how he says, because Atli was concerned about Bjorn, and he's like, I'm sorry, I know you said you didn't care, but we did betray you, And I like how he says, you call yourself a Viking? How did I have such a good man with me, And that could be something of, like, Askeladd, because he, Askeladd hates the Danes, But that doesn't mean he hates the individual men, I don't know. Like, that's just an interesting thing. Like, he's... I don't know. My sentences are dying. I should take another drink. Every Monday morning, man. This is when I record it. For you guys, it's Sunday when you're watching this, but... First thing, Monday morning. I've barely got caffeine in me, and I have to get so existential with this. I gotta philosophize, man. Like, I can't deal with how good this show is, I wish... There is a part of me, though, that is like, man, I wish Thorfinn was a part of this. Because he's really just not, you know? Like, you know, even when Thorfinn, you know, when Canute is like, oh, Thorfinn, you know, I'll give you some more duties later, you know, just for now, just, you know, stay as a guard. And Thorfinn's like, don't give me orders. Askeladd has to be like, I'm sorry, I'll make sure that the orders stick, you know? It's like, Thorfinn didn't decide this, by the way. Thorfinn, like, to Thorfinn's credit, he didn't decide to follow Canute. He's still there to kill Askeladd, you know? That's all he has in his life, you know? That's all he has in his life. But it is one of those things where it's like, I kind of wish he was a part of this, but I don't know. But it's fine. I'm sure they'll do something about it. So yeah. I guess that's kind of it. You know, actually, one thing I noticed, because Crunchyroll, I guess I let it sit too long and it went to a different screen, basically, with the thumbnail of this episode. And it just shows Thorkel, which I love that, you know, basically the order is go drink and eat as much as you want and I'll pay for it. Just include the other clan leaders, basically. And he's like, yes, sir. I like that. You know, something I realized because now he's wearing an eye patch because Thorfinn gouged out his eye. I do love that at the very least, with every fight that the two of them have had, Thorfinn does always, like, do noticeable damage. And it seems to be noticeable damage that no warrior has ever really done before, you know? Like, he's missing two of his fingers. You know, he has a scar from where he had to catch Thorfinn's blade before Thorfinn cut those fingers off. And now he has to wear an eye patch because Thorfinn gouged out that eye. I like that little detail that Thorfinn is the only person to ever do noticeable damage to, or noticeable long-lasting damage to Thorkel. So there. See? Thorfinn is a part of the plot. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm really curious to see where we're going with Thorfinn because I don't know. The boy doesn't do anything in this show. But I'm sure they'll figure something out. I don't know. But yeah, we got 4 episodes left this season. I'm excited. And then we got a whole other season after that, which is great. But yeah, this is good. I really love this show, man. Like, this show, like, if to me, if someone was like, hey, I don't watch anime, you know, I don't watch any anime, what's a good anime? It's like, this would definitely be, like, in my top 5 to recommend. You know, like, this, Full Metal Alchemist, Mob Psycho 100, what's another good one? Death Note. Death Note's pretty good, so that's 4. Do we have what's number 5? What could I give as number 5? I don't know. Let me look. I try to save these little, like, you know, Vinland Saga dick sucking sessions for the end of the video, so that you know it's okay to. So if any of you are still here, that's great. But excuse me. What would be? Cowboy Bebop probably. Yeah. So yeah, that would definitely be like my top 5 anime that I would recommend to people who do not watch anime. Vinland Saga, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Mob Psycho 100, Death Note, and Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, that's like 3 classic anime. 2 of them maybe a bit more classic than the others. I mean, I guess Death Note and Full Metal came out around the same time, didn't they? Yeah, so 2 decently classic, 1 really classic, and 2 more modern series. But yeah, that would be... Congratulations, Vinland Saga has now entered my top 5 would recommend to people that do not watch anime list. So, congratulations. And we still have 4 more episodes this season and an entire other season that's not even the end of the show because there'll be a 3rd season. 20 episodes, and I recommend this 10 out of 10. So, with all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Vinland Saga reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.